It's gonna get pretty weird. There you are. First in. So I haven't slept yet. And I'm gonna have to lie. I'm gonna have to lie to my IOP today, because there's this form that I fill out every day and it asks how many hours of sleep do you get? And I know that if I put 0, I am just never going to hear the end of it. So I have to lie. 6 a.m. I know. And I'm on time. It just takes me not going to sleep. Actually, I'm not really on time. It's 6:08. So even when I don't sleep, I'm still late. But I got coffee. Look at my cool little coffee mug. Oh man, that's so strong. I love it. I already feel awake. I feel like I just slept 8 hours. We're good. I'm gonna crash out so hard. I do not think I'm gonna be doing a... There's no Red Bull in there. Not yet. Not yet. I like my coffee black, so I want to enjoy it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go all in on the pouring the Red Bull in. Yeah. Hey, thank you for the heart me. I can't hear it for some reason. Oh, I know why, because I didn't even turn any of this stuff on. Come on, work with me here. There you go. All right, I can hear now. There's my blob. Oh, my blob. Blob. I am running on 0 hours sleep. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be so much fun. We are going to have an awesome time. And that's how it's going to be. It's going to be fun. Just what I needed right now. What happened, Blob? What's going on? What's going on, Blob? Autumn, thank you for the heart me. Colin, please do not start that, because I want to see how organically it comes up on my live. Okay? All right? Like I seriously do, because I want to see if it is something that is happening literally everywhere, or if it's happening just, you know, in those other lives. So don't start it. I want to see if it actually happens. You don't have to behave. Once it starts to happen, you can jump in and do it. It's totally fine. You're fuming. Why are you fuming, Anne? What's going on? Yeah, right? Seriously. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I may crash out. I may have a manic episode. Who knows? But realistically, I've stayed up for like 42 hours once, so this isn't really much. You're sick, Blob? That sucks. Hey, Joso, how's it going? But yeah. Autumn, did you know? Do you do your lives with TikTok Studio, right? I didn't know that you could expand the chat window and have like the messages, gifts, joins, and key viewers and all that stuff all separated out. Filtered. Let me double check again, because for some reason they keep turning on my my comment filters. More chat settings. Come on. Computer runs so slow. Oh, I gotta check something. You guys, so I'm so close to solving that Discord issue. I'm creating a website, and it should solve the problem because it'll just be an easier way to access. So see, I don't have bipolar. So like Amanda, I'm kind of jealous too, but I'm hoping to kind of like induce some kind of mania by just lack of sleep. Just to experience it so that maybe then I can self-diagnose as bipolar and then say that I know what I'm talking about. Just kidding, obviously, but yeah. There has been a problem. Oh, there's things that have happened, and then there's been reactions to those things that have happened. And things are just weird. I had an appointment and the woman didn't show up. She's off sick and didn't tell. That sucks. Yeah, that definitely sucks. That's terrible. Hey Alice, how's it going? Yeah. Very inconsiderate. Oh, you've been using your phone? Yeah, I mean, a lot of times it ends up being a little easier. I tried using my phone the other day and I realized I've become so dependent on having everything kind of organized on the screen that I can't really go back to doing it on the phone. At least if I'm doing these kind of lives. If I'm doing like body doubling, it's a different story. But all right. Well, there's some big news that Anne has to share, so I can't wait to hear what it is. Well, it's not alleged he did, but it's more so that now it seems like everybody's checking to make sure the thoughts of what people think about it are asked and known, and so kind of waiting to see if that same kind of thing happens here, but we'll see. I'm hoping that it's a little bit less crazy than it was in Autumn's life, but we will see. Hold on. Oops. All right. Let me see here. Gotta find my live. I got a job interview next week and it's perfect for me. That's awesome. That is awesome. Proud of you. I really hope that it works out well for you. If you need any help preparing for the interview, let me know. I hire people, so I kind of know what certain people are kind of seeking in the answers to the questions that they ask. Something. Just a lot of trolls, but thankfully I haven't slept, so I spent some time in there. Probably not really effectively, but trolling back and playing along and stuff, but really just kind of like focusing on a lot of the weirdness of just how people act, Come on, work. You're supposed to work. All right. Guess we're gonna do this a different way. Just a second here. All right. I always forget to get this light working. Otherwise, I look too shadowy. I can't deal with the shadowy. There we go. So I just woke up and I'm out of coffee. I have some amazing, very, very, very strong coffee. I think I like It's probably twice as strong as it should be. Twice as strong as people normally have it. This is probably as strong as it should be. Humans are weird. Because, like, here's the thing, like, when it comes to that stuff, like, I'm not going to talk specifically about it, but I empathize significantly. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is an instant coffee. This is a, um, I bought like the beans and then I grind the beans before I um, do the drip coffee. So it's relatively fresh. Um, it's good enough to where I'll drink it black, you know, and so I don't add anything to it. And to be honest with you, it's probably like the manliest thing about me. Um, and when I say manliest, it's because there's probably nothing else, you know. Um, that's about it. I'm just saying it before the trolls do. Ooh, get that out of the way. Just had some tea for your sore throat. I wish I could like tea. I can't. I don't even know. Have you heard that thing about how instant coffee has cockroaches in it? Well, I would not drink instant coffee anyway. I tried it once. Like they had it um, at the office for the company that I used to work for. I went to Ireland, and you know, going to work there at 8 a.m. is midnight my time. So like coffee was necessary, and all they had was instant. I couldn't even drink it, even though I was so desperate to stay awake. No. Am I a Deftones fan? I haven't really given Deftones that much of a listen in like the last like 25 years or something, so I don't even really remember what they sound like, to be honest. Um, but you know, I'm into like punk rock, like fast-paced punk rock, or like punk hardcore. So punk influenced hardcore music. So, you know, punk beats, but screaming, that kind of stuff, you know. So all produce have certain amount of, yeah, yeah, you know, what should I expect in the interview, etc. You can expect a lot of questions about how you handle conflict, how you handle, you know, what was a time when you went above and beyond, you know, for a customer, if it's a customer facing job. Talk about, I don't know. It really just depends on what specifically it is. Rage Against the Machine, no. Like, it's not that like I think I'm an elitist or anything like that. But it would seem like it, like you would say, oh, this guy's like hipster, like, you know, only listens to certain stuff. But like when I was 14, oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna be dark here for some reason. Um, what was I saying? Something about yeah, it's not necessarily about like the music. For me, it was more about like sort of the feeling that punk rock gave me, because it was very like tuned to my like hyperactivity, if that makes sense, because it was fast paced as far as music goes, but then slow as far as like lyrics and all that other stuff goes. And it was it kind of like matched my brain, if that makes sense, you know. Welcome to the dark side. Dark man cave, another manly thing. Okay, so I guess I just became a little manly because of my electrical dysfunction. Krispy Kreme. Okay, Anne. Um, so first off, any advice that I give you is going to require some kind of international gift card exchange thing, you know? Because like look, I respect like a good donut, right? Like a good like mom and pop shop donut, like truly. And then there's sometimes where it's like, you know what? I want the McDonald's of donuts, because it's like, it just like it seriously like melts in your mouth. And so I'm telling you, like, oh my gosh, get a free donut each shift. They're so cheap. That stuff costs them like 25 cents. You should get a bunch of them. But anyway, regardless, one is still good, even though that would be gone in like 2.5 seconds for me. But man, here at least in the US, like when the hot sign's on, they'll give everyone like a free donut. So man, they need to step up with those employee benefits. Ooh, okay, yeah. Special occasion. All right, and I'm here for it. Top of my head, Blink 182 and Green Day are punk bands that come off my mind. So yeah, so if Green Day, I'm like they're they're okay. Like in my mind, like I know a lot of people love them and stuff like that. Um, it wasn't fast enough for me. And so Blink 182, I liked Blink 182. I liked their Dude Ranch album. You know, it had a lot of faster paced songs on it and stuff that I liked. I really liked their new album. And it's awesome that the first song that they start off with on that album is a fast paced song because that's like the style I love. So it was nice to kind of see Blink 182 kind of throwing it back to that older style, you know? Um, yeah, see, that's the thing is like, so with the music, and you'd have to go back and like listen to like Dude Ranch songs, or maybe like um, the song Josie, right? That's a faster paced song. So it's fast, a fast beat, but the singing is basically at halftime, right? I gotta go pick up siblings. All right. I'll get back to you on the other stuff, but really, it's you know, a lot of the questions are gonna be not even having anything to do with the job. But I'll help you out with them. You're gonna call it a night? Come on, you're weak. You're weak. Don't go to sleep. Sleep is for the weak. You know when you can sleep? Oh, never mind. I already made that joke. It wasn't even really a joke. It was more of like a sad reality that I just have to radically accept is going to happen someday, unfortunately, you know? Like, truly. Like, I make that joke, but it's one of those, like, kind of jokes, you know what I mean? It's like, no, this is a real thing. Let's just pretend that it's fun, you know? Yeah, yeah. No. Why did I think you were Australian? Um, well, I go in Australian people's lives and stuff. Um, like I'm a mod in Bianca McIntyre's the putting the BMPPDs live. So I'm there quite often. Hey Marcy, how's it going? She's been away for the last month or so, but if you're talking Australian, that's probably the most Australian person that or community that I'm a part of, the Burb community. So, yep. So yeah, I'm one of the mods there. Lately, she's been, which is great, you know, but she's been, whenever people have come to her asking her about CPTSD, she's been telling them to go to my live, which is really cool of her. Um, um, so yeah, so um, yeah, that's that. But yeah, she's really cool. I like seriously, her lives are like the best lives that I attend as far as viewing them and stuff. And I would even say like if you had to follow me or her, follow her because she is like super smart. Honey Bay, I didn't do it, okay, but I got a good excuse. Um, I had a really bad day, and then I didn't go to sleep last night. So I could have done it last night, but I was, yeah. Um, I'm not even gonna promise when, but I promise it will be soon. Yeah, so that's that. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, Bianca is awesome. Um, Same here. You didn't sleep. This is the first time in a very long time I didn't sleep, and I basically committed to it because I got the coffee. I'm you didn't get good sleep. I'm sorry. I uh I didn't have like a good like towards the end of the night, and I was spending too much time like ruminating on stuff I really shouldn't have. Um I can't see the whole name. Um Walking for a clearer mind. Thank you for the heart me. I do have meds for sleep, but here's the thing, like I was already up ruminating and stuff, and like by the time I looked it was like 4, and I had to be live at 6. And not only that, like I could have just canceled it, but I have to be up anyway to do other stuff after this, so I wasn't gonna get anything from going into REM sleep and then immediately coming out of it. That wasn't gonna work. So little Loraz, huh? You slept like a log. That's great. I'm happy for you. Like truly, um, sleep is very very vital. For me, it was just circumstances of last night, and just kind of the thing. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I do trazodone, prescribed, of course. Um, but yeah, um, it was not going to. Yeah, don't know if you remember I mentioned it. Oh, the rest thing. Okay, Bruce. See, there's this. Yeah, I like Blob. I like. There's this thing here called Rush, which is very similar. I wonder if it's like kind of based off of the same thing. But yeah, I remember you mentioning it. And a good sleeping forever, along with the health. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, Jack. I previously dealt with insomnia, because I had this like, well, it was part of my PTSD. Is I had this GI gastrointestinal issue for a whole year that doctors couldn't figure out what it was, and then by the time they did figure it out, after a year of suffering through losing tons and tons of weight and not being able to eat, and only being able to eat if I was doing the green stuff, and just a whole year of hell. And then when I finally did get better, medicine started working. My body was basically like, nah, we're still sick. You're still going to get nauseated at night. You're still not going to be able to sleep, because that was when it was most painful. And it took me a good 9 to 10 months after I got better to actually get my sleep regulated. So yeah, I've been having bad dreams. I'm sorry, honey bang. Weird dreams on stimulants. So, man, it's like so hard for me to dissect dreams, because I have CPTSD, which gives me like night terrors, right? But then my stimulants also don't really work that well. I'm kind of going through a trial right now to get them fixed, I guess, or adjusted to me. So yeah, it's kind of like all over the place. There was some question about my diagnosis. Yeah, walking with a clear mind. What made me get diagnosed? So I slowly burnt out over the course of about 6 years. It all started when I lost a job that I had for 12 years. And then, when I started the job, I was single. When I, was laid off, due to mergers, and it was like a big, large layoff. Um, when I was laid off, I was married, had a mortgage, had a kid. And so life was much more stressful for the person who was now unemployed. And so when I did start working, which was only like a month later, I had a really hard time focusing. And then it just got worse and worse. So over the course of like 6 years, it just continued to get worse and worse. And then I had a lot of other things kind of happen. And then like health issues, all that kind of stuff. And eventually I burnt out. And on the same night that I burnt out, I had repressed memories come back from my childhood that, it was like very, very clear after that thing that I had some kind of PTSD, right? Like, how can you deny when all of a sudden you are feeling emotions and sensations and seeing memories, crystal clear memories, of your childhood, and times when you blacked out and dissociated, replaying in your head, and then, have that happen for 3 hours. It's like, yeah, I guess that's trauma. But then at that same time, when I woke up the next morning and I hit burnout, all my executive function wasn't just dysfunctional, it was executive function was just offline. So there wasn't even dysfunction, there was just nothing. And so I essentially had all the masking and the coping that I had done over the years to kind of adjust myself for it. All those things just disappeared. And so I just had like, it seemed like I contracted ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and CPTSD in just like one day. But really what happened was that burnout just revealed everything to me at once. So that's essentially what caused me to like just see it plain as day. 3 days later, I went and started seeing a new therapist to go through the trauma and start to working with it. My therapist was neurodivergent and helped me understand that what was going on, at least from that perspective, while also helping me with the trauma. So really got me off onto a good foot there as far as getting my diagnosis, starting to understand what it means and everything. And really just supported me from that perspective. So I was really grateful to have the therapist that I do, because not only has she helped me with the neurodivergent stuff, because she's also neurodivergent, she significantly helped me with the trauma. Like, I went from not knowing what the hell was happening and why my childhood all of a sudden was so terrible, and why I didn't understand why I was never mad, why I was never furious about it, and so many unexplainable things. And then all of a sudden, well, like a year and a couple months later, everything's understood. And like, we've just done so much work to unpack everything and to find answers for stuff. So I have like the best therapist. I am so lucky, because not only, again, with the neurodivergency, but she's really good with trauma, and so that helped me so much, because it was all childhood stuff. And see, the thing with the CPTSD, like, I was traumatized from things I didn't even remember, right? Traumatized from things that like were long forgotten. And so part of my CPTSD was trying to answer some questions when I didn't even know what the questions were, because I forgot about the questions. And so it was like trying to solve a mystery and going about and really diving into myself to try and feel out, what is it that I'm missing? What's why am I still dealing with this thing 40 years later? Like, I thought I got over it decades ago. And really, like, spoiler alert, what it got down to was basically my understanding of myself, why I wasn't mad, why I felt like I betrayed my inner child, betrayed my younger version of myself by never sticking up for myself when I was old enough and safe enough to be able to do that. So that was something that for me, I kind of traumatized myself with, thinking, how could I not be mad? Am I not human? Like, do I not respect myself, care about myself, and all that? And so that was one part. The other part was, how could a parent do that to their child? And it took me having a child who was the same age as me, who looked like me, reminded me of me, acted like me as a child. I have a kid who's just like me. And not being able to imagine how anyone could, like, I would never do anything like that to my son. I love my son so much. And so it was like, how could my parents do that? Was I unloved? I thought I was. And just so many things that kind of really just kind of crashed down at once. So for me, that was the whole, like, the trauma aspect was trying to make sense of a very, very, very horrific childhood, with lots of manipulation, lots of violence, but then also a lot of psychological things. What's Dave doing? Bro answers the exact same questions every single day. Well, people come in and they have the same questions every day, and so that's why I do it. um but thanks for coming in again. you know if you want, you can stick around, and then when people ask the questions, you could just be like, I already know the answer. Here it is. You'll look like super smart. I may even make you a mod. Who knows? Um, but every now and then you got to put up with a few weirdos that come in, but it's no biggie. Yeah, you don't got to be scared of them. They're just they just need hugs and a little bit of education, but they're harmless. They think they're tougher than they really are. And I'm sorry, I'm very sassy this morning because I didn't sleep last night, and now I'm drinking coffee. So we're gonna have a fun live. And thank you everyone for sharing it. Weirdos, you're all weirdos. You like sassy Tim? Okay, well, I'm not gonna make it a habit to not sleep, but I will make it a habit that if I don't sleep to get on live. Your story is so relatable regarding ADHD. Yeah, so for me as a child, so I I remember having the autism symptoms because I remembered well, I'll get back to that part. The ADHD part. When I started learning how to read and I knew how to read, I started reading books and I realized that after I read one page and then moved on to the next, I would forget the first page. And that would just keep happening and it bothered me. And so I told my mom and she said, just try harder. Okay. Bye, Blob. 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 Everyone say bye to my favorite blob in the whole world. Ah, yes, Mr. Clean. Welcome back. Yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened to him. He did not deserve what happened to him, regardless of how much hate he spread. Nobody deserves to have that happen to them, and it really sucks. I really, really empathize with his family and everything, because regardless of disagreements and all that stuff, like, nobody deserves that. And I think that we as humans need to make sure that we're checking ourselves, because we should never really think positive about people going through stuff like that. And for those people who believe that that is not the answer, should not look to that as being a good thing that happened to him, because that's not the answer. Oh gosh. Well, he I don't know, it's kind of messed up. Like, I don't even have like a snarky response to that, because I'm genuinely sad for his family, even though I never agreed with anything he said. Like, these are people, these are humans, and like, I don't care like about all that stuff, like, as far as like, yeah, what they've done and all that stuff, it's terrible, but nobody deserves that, and I think that if we are accepting of that, we're moving in a direction we don't want to move in. We got to like continue to stay consistent. If we want to see that kind of violence end, you don't celebrate it. You don't. It's so terrible. And I was actually very, very disheartened by a lot of the things I saw posted everywhere. Because how quickly do we just forget that somebody's human, And I know that if it was turned around, it would be different. And, I know he would act like he didn't care and stuff, because that's what he did, right? But that was him. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like him. And still, if I was okay with that, then I would just be like him. But nobody deserves that. Nobody does. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. They watched it happen. The kids, the wife, were right there and saw it happen. And it's just a sad representation of just what's going on, And honestly, a lot more people need to think about their mental health, there's a lot of problems, with it. Um, and yeah, there's one solution, that everyone's saying, take away this stuff or whatever. There's still problems, you know? There's still problems out there. And that may solve one part, but it's not going to change people's hearts, you know? People are still going to find ways to do what they want to do, you know? And so there's just a big mess. But the thing is that, like, when are we going to just take care of the mess, you know? Yeah, his kids were there and his wife was there. So the kids got to watch their dad, and you saw the video. The kids had to see that. I can't imagine being as young as they are and watching my own father, who you're probably proud of and you look up to. Again, family dynamics, and stuff. Like, take out the actual details and just kids appreciate their parents. They look up to their parents. So you look up to somebody and you see that happen. Like, I like you honestly, I feel that the people who do not empathize with that are just not human, you know? And so, regardless of stances on things, like, nobody should ever look at something like that and think it's okay. So, so I can't even, like, troll back the trolls when they talk about that, because it's so heartbreaking. It really is. I can't believe I shed tears over it, but I did, you know, because it's devastating. Again, nobody deserves that, and it just sucks too, because, like, how shocked are we, you know? Like, how there was another one. I mean, there was two yesterday, right? There was one in Colorado also. Like, it was just Wednesday, and it sucks, you know? Yeah, I mean, I get it, Joe. So there's a lot of things that he definitely enabled, but at the end of it, like, all that stuff aside, regardless of anybody's decisions, good, bad, stupid, smart, whatever, nobody deserves that. And he can it can be his fault in one way or another, but honestly, like, people can be misguided, people can spew hate, they can do all this stuff, but for one thing, one person doesn't get to just decide if somebody is alive or not, you know? And one person shouldn't be able to decide to do something like that in front of a crowd, in front of the kids, in front of the wife, you know? Um, and the more we are okay with that, the more we are becoming the thing that we argued against. Have a good night, Amanda. I'm sure you're just used to hearing this stuff over and over. Take care. Thank you for coming in. So yeah, it's a very hard thing for me to process, but Joso, I'm sure my mom is devastated right now. I am confident my mom is devastated right now. So, but it doesn't matter. Still just another human, right? Yeah, his gums looked weird, right? And a really big head. But he didn't deserve that. We can say all the stuff about him, but, he didn't deserve that. Because nobody deserves to just have that happen, Colin, you're right. I have my own theories, but that's not relevant, At the end of the day, still, I would have much rather seen a change of heart. I would have much rather seen somebody who was finally able to see how devastating this stuff can be. Like, truly devastating. Although he had lots of opportunities to see it and, you know, ignored a lot of it. Like, I would have loved to have seen an actual heart change, you know, and it just sucks that like that never happened. And even if it was going to happen, he had that chance taken away. Yeah, I agree. He shouldn't have been able to do all that stuff. I do not agree with anything that he was able to do, allowed to do, that he did, because it created so much division and invalidated so many people, you know? And regardless of how he is, who he is, and our perception of him, like, I don't know. Go look and see the video, the close-up video. And remember that his kids had to see it. And then just pretend that it's your father and you love your father. As somebody who has trauma, I'm scared for those kids because they're probably not going to get, you know, therapy, you know, maybe some prayers, but they're going to be messed up, you know, and they're going to suffer within themselves, and probably alone because of their dad, right? But then also because of just how everything is, you know, like the kids didn't deserve that, you know. It's just such a bummer, you know. And the thing is that it's really hard because like I don't want to see that stuff happen, and I can't ever be okay with it happening, you know. It's just no problem, thank you. We usually don't talk about this kind of stuff, but it's obviously like a big topic of discussion right now, so but we can definitely talk about something else because, you know, it's just gonna make me very, very upset. And I'm on a good kick right now with the no sleep and the coffee thing. We're gonna get sassy here. We're gonna have a sassy good time. And so let's bring the sass instead. But yeah, that's that. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. I mean, there's lots of things that are out there, lots of things that are there. You know, I think for me, it's still just going to be the same result of just feeling hopeless. You know. Yeah. Hey Jody, how's it going? You don't have Twitter. I don't have Twitter either. As soon as hey, thank you for the heart me. As soon as they changed their terms of service to allow their AI to scan everything, I downloaded my archive and deleted my account. Hey, how are you doing? Hey, Deanna, how's it going? Thank you for the heart me. You only have this in Facebook? You know, I feel like I definitely spend more time on TikTok than I do any other social media app or site or service or whatever. But it's mainly because like all the other things that are more tied to my personal are like a mixed bag of just like so many different things that will either encourage me or tear me down. And it's like I don't want to roll the dice that often. How's my day been? My day has been 24 hours so far and counting. I haven't slept, so we're coffeeing it up. Probably have a Red Bull too, and then we'll see how therapy goes. And I'm definitely gonna lie on the form when they ask how much sleep I got last night. So a monkey cup, indeed it is. Hey Deanna, you have the same one for reals? For reals? This was a gift to me from my brother. Where'd you get it? Do you know? Like, part of the world or whatever. Woohoo! Thank you for the disco love. Oh crap, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna look at the things. Ooh, thanks for the hat and mustache. Yeehaw! Is that what I'm supposed to say? I'm so bad at like the being like a proper host. Yeah, hand hearts. Thank you so much. Is that what I'm supposed to do too? Like, seriously, I don't know. um, yeah. Um, sorry. Thank you for the hearts as well. Joso, so you said you watched it, but I didn't see after that. Like, um, it's pretty rough, But again, we're not talking about that. Anyway, BRB, will I reopen app? You're leaving again? Good morning. You're very tired. You had a show last night? I did not have a show last night, but I didn't sleep either. So I've been telling everybody, and they've been experiencing it. They're getting a sassy Tim today. So trolls beware. Deanna, I do not want to hear it, okay? Because look, I'm telling you this, but I'm definitely going to be lying on that daily check-in form at the IOP that says how many hours did you sleep last night? Because I know that this was an isolated incident, and it's not going to happen again. But I'm just being very, very, very clear and setting some expectations. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to like, maybe I just won't fill it in. Or maybe I'll like make the 0 look like an 8. You know what I mean? Because that'll be kind of easy if I just, I'm very shaky, No, but I'm hoping. Okay, listen, you guys need to stop ganging up on me. It's your. I know, but see, okay, maybe I'll just have to like put like 0 and then put like a little asterisks and then just like attach a paper to it and just say, look, I was having a rough night, and I wasn't going to take my sleeping pills because it was just far too late to do it, and so instead, I decided to stay awake and, you know, do some self-care, which is just sitting with it. No, really, I'll take a nap. I'll do all that stuff, and definitely tonight. I'm not gonna go live tonight. I'll make it a point to especially not go live tonight, so that I can go to bed early. The kids aren't gonna be here, so I can do it. Made a drag race reference. Where library is open because reading. Why is the library open? Because reading is what's fundamental. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Not to say anything, but I would like to update via verbally. What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm telling you, like, it was just a one night thing, okay? It was just one night. It was just one night. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna hear it, okay? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go get my coffee, okay? Because I want to make sure that before I get yelled at, that there's a moment to just stop and breathe, have some emotional regulation, and say to yourself, this is not Tim's fault. And just say that over and over, okay? It takes a while to load for some reason because I'm on the TikTok studio and all that stuff. So, oh my goodness. All right. Wow. Thank you so much for that. Jeez. I'm going to go get my coffee. So, emotional regulation, right? Stop skills, all that stuff, right? BRB. So what are you gonna give me then? Okay, give me an update then. No. Well, no, you told me a little something, yeah, but like not much. No, no. So you discovered something new, or is this something that's like recurring? You really should talk to a professional before you do stuff like that. Yeah, that's crazy. Are you better now? Are you dealing with the same stuff that I am, as far as just a little sassy, a little I mean, all I did was not sleep one night. So really, you can't give me anything after all that. Oh, I know, and I understand why now. Because it would be very, very hypocritical. Mm, mm. Are these your notes? Man, if only you had time, like ahead of time, like time in advance to get this done. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, everyone should follow Deanna. She's awesome. She goes live, and she's well, actually, I won't share anything else just in case you don't want me to, but it's on your profile. Oh, and she's a therapist. Yeah, but yeah, definitely give her a follow. She's really cool. Um, so so how many notes do you have now, like to do? Hmm. You could have done later, but yeah. But you're responsible. Um, there you go. Yeah. So how much more time do you think you're gonna need to spend on your notes then to get all caught up? All right. Mhm. That's a very nice way of putting it. You know. Yeah. 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 Yeah, well that's pretty intense. I still think that there's something that like I can create on the technology side to streamline it for you if I understood the systems. Right. Right. Have you, and I'm sure you have, but I guess just for everybody else here, um have you like done anything to help prevent you from getting into this again, or kind of planned anything? Oh, look at that little doggy. Oh. Right, 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 right. Right, right. Mm-hmm. Expertise. Yeah, definitely. I think it would also be great if somebody complained or said like, "I want to talk to your boss," and you're like, "Okay," and then you literally like, "Hi, hi, this is boss. How's it going?" Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Right. Hmm. Right, right. I'm telling you, like, I feel like there's a technology solution for you that would just like help you out so much. Yeah. Yeah. No, that I mean, yeah, any kind of tool that you can get that's going to help you out would be great, you know? But I mean, especially for the things that you I mean, are these things already typed up? Oh, okay. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things you don't want to get behind on then, right? So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I feel like no, I mean, I don't know, like it's got to be rough for reals because I mean, like I know that this has been like looming for like the last month, you know, at least from what I've been aware. Right. Hmm. Like I want to look that up what it is. Like, well, what was your experience like? And I, that's mhm. Right. Oh man. I yeah. I've slept under my desk in the office, like not this office, like in an actual office a couple times. It's not comfy. So you stole his bed? Okay, that's from your service animal? Have you no shame? Seriously though. You took the bed away from that cutie. If you feel like it was worth it, then I'm who am I to judge you? Besides being a dog owner myself. Hmm. You know, that's really needed though, is that kind of a program, because like, you know, I'm in an IOP right now, and I'm recognizing that there's a significant gap in their understanding of any kind of neurodivergence. You know, like very significant, even to the point to where they're like kind of acting like I'm making things up, and I'm like, I'm coming to you voluntarily, like here with real issues, you know. But so but the thing is that I didn't go there for neurodivergent help. I went there to, you know, review the DBT stuff and, you know, have some grounding and everything. But um, so really, I'm just like, well, I didn't come here for this, so I'm just gonna mask up until I get out. You know, because it's like, otherwise I'm gonna get invalidated pretty. And like I did get invalidated quite a few times last week. Um, and it was kind of a bummer too, because like prior to that it wasn't really that way. But again, it's just kind of like well, I didn't go there for this, so I can just put that aside, you know. Right. Hmm. and and I mean, the thing is that it would also be really great, because when they did the drum circle with all like the musical instruments and stuff, well, that maybe that wouldn't happen in that kind of a setting, because I was like way too overstimulated, like my sensory sensitivity was like going through the roof, and I was like shaking and everything. And thankfully I had like a shaker in my hand, so I was just acting like I was just shaking the shaker, but really it was just on autopilot. um, well, it's not even that. Like I, you know, playing the guitar for me is really difficult because of the vibrations of the guitar. And so like even just holding that stuff and feeling like all the little beads inside this like pair move around, like it doesn't do any good for the already overstimulating part, and my noise canceling headphones just do not cancel enough, you know. And it just like for me it created kind of like a chaotic moment where I kind of just like was like, okay, I just got to tough out like the next hour kind of a thing. But if you were to have something specific for, you know, neurodivergent people, you would be able to take those things into consideration and bake a lot of those considerations into the program, so that you're not feeling like you have to stand up and say, guys, this is very difficult for me, can we not do this, and then ruin everybody else's experience, you know. Like that, like I would always feel guilty about trying to advocate for myself in those kinds of settings, because um like people are there for help as well. And like, just because I'm having one particular type of response to this, you know, doesn't mean that it should be taken away for everyone else, you know. And so it's, you know, like I want to advocate for myself, but at the same time I'm very mindful that everybody else is there too, and maybe getting stuff out of it, you know. um yeah, well, no, and I mean like that's the thing is like, um like I said, it's really needed, and just from my own experience of being in one. And the thing is like I went into one immediately after hitting burnout, immediately after discovering I had all this stuff. So I was like, late diagnosed, going into a PHP with the psychiatrist saying everybody has ADHD, and saying like, well, you can't have ADHD. You're too successful to have ADHD. These are like direct quotes. And that was my first experience talking to a psychiatrist at a mental health program about this recent like thing that happened to me. And there was like no like understanding that was even put into it. And for me, that was really tough because it's like I'm coming to this thing for help. And instead, I'm being told, you're fine. It's like, lady, if I was fine, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. Stress. Right. And it's basically like they're waiting for you to crash out to get any help. But then it's like when you do crash out, it's not like you can just get up. Like it takes a long time to get back up. And so, like, you're basically saying, you're not suffering enough. We want to see you suffer all the way, and then we'll help you out. You know? Yeah. It's a bummer. But that's why I'm glad that there's people like you in the field, like doing this stuff because like, you know, that kind of, I don't want to say representation, but people being like in those fields that have this experience is needed. um, just because like it's one thing to learn about it in school and to kind of have the understanding of how it is from a scientific standpoint, but like living it and experiencing it and like truly identifying with how that actually manifests within you is like something that only somebody who has it can understand, and that's why like even for me, like I've learned more about this stuff from TikTok than I do from any professional that I've seen, because like I'm learning from people who actually have it and have dealt with it and figured stuff out, instead of somebody saying, hey, yeah, you just need to start creating some routines. It's like, oh cool, you read that chapter, so how do I do that? I don't know. So there's just like a huge disconnect there where really like, and again, people like me go for help and then just get invalidated, so I'm happy to see you doing that kind of stuff, and just making life a little better for those of us that like you and I and everyone else that's probably in here need, you know because we also deal with mental health. We also deal with other things that are besides neurodivergency, you know emotional dysregulation, check. you know um mhm. Right, right. Well, no, I mean, so everyone, you should follow, again, follow Deanna before she becomes famous, because then you can say I followed her before she was famous. Yeah, a few years, but see that makes you even more hipster and more cool because it's like I didn't just follow her before, and I've been following her for a few years. Like I liked her old stuff best. No, but really, like I think it's cool. Because I mean I see that because I see the need, and I'm sure you. I mean, you obviously saw the need because you're doing something about it. Um, and yeah, why are you typing? You're talking to me. You're not typing to them. You're talking to me. Autumn, thank you for following. Oh no, you can interrupt me. No, but no. It's yeah, it's good. And keep you don't have to keep everyone else updated. Keep me updated on how it's going, because like I like to know that stuff and know what's there, and hopefully it's something that you can like create that others can also adopt. That would be phenomenal. I would tell all my local IOP PHPs to get on it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, who knows? Because like the thing is while you start working on it, you may also realize, or you might get support in another way where you get like multiple people, collaborating on stuff, and then you can accelerate even further. So who knows how it goes, you know? But I think there's definitely a lot of potential, a need, and I think that's just great that you're tackling it versus just complaining about it like I do, you know? Well, yeah. I'm talking more specifically about the PHP and IOPs and them not understanding neurodivergence specifically, because that it is important, yeah. And the thing is like I've kind of see that's the thing is like so I do this live and I spend a lot of time explaining things, right? And explaining like my situation from like firsthand experience, using language that's really easy to understand and relate to. Um, Yet the professionals are the educated ones, and so they don't want to hear from me on my stuff. Like they're very close-minded to it because they're like, well, I know about this, and really you need to do this. And it's like I don't know. It's like I said, very invalidating, and again, like even just the idea that so black and white shows that they don't understand the idea of it being a spectrum, and you know, there's just yeah, it's just a lack of education, a lack of understanding, that hopefully we'll see change, and likely will see change, especially if you're at the helm doing this stuff. Right. Yeah. No, I mean it's yeah. You're doing good stuff though, and like I said, it's gonna be fun to kind of like watch and see how this unfolds, because I also don't think it's gonna be something that you're gonna give up on easily if you do struggle. Like I feel like you're kind of determined to get this done. This isn't like the notes. This is gonna happen. Yep, yep. Well, well, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you may decide like halfway through the day, you know what? I could just get another job. Hmm. Hmm. No, no, that That's yeah, that's definitely crazy. I'm gonna look into, not sorry, not crazy. It's definitely interesting. I want to look into the discontinuation thing and like kind of, you know, I never heard of it. So like, you know, you gave me the thing. I'm gonna like, you know, just look into it more and more to get a better understanding, especially if it's something that people may deal with, you know. Yeah. Um. Yeah, definitely. There was one other thing I was gonna say too. I forgot. It's gone. But oh no, no, the social work thing. I have been giving that a lot more thought too. Um, so yeah. Ready? It's a lot. Oh yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm definitely not going to bite off more than I can chew. And if I'm going to like go back to school for anything, I'm definitely going to have to really make sure that I am, you know, in a good place and ready and equipped and, you know, got enough cleared out to be able to handle it. So, you know, it's going to be a process if I do that anyway. So, but yeah, I'm not going to go register and just like start because I'll just fail and that'll be a waste of money. Yeah, yeah. You do. All right, so everyone, we need to make sure that we're not only following Deanna, but that we're checking up on her later on today, commenting on her videos saying, "Did you finish them?" Okay, make sure the notes. Okay, like say, "Did you finish the notes?" Okay, yeah, yeah. Mute the notifications, but then check out the post later. Everyone's gonna be curious, and then you can reply to all of them and give them an update. But look at. Well, I hope I see you again. Okay. No, I really am. Yeah, you'll get it done. I'm just teasing you, but yeah, it's you know, proud of you and the stuff you're doing. Hey, Kelsey, thank you for the heart me and the go popular. Go do your thing. Go do your thing. Bye. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm coming back online, y'all. There I am. Woo. Um, did you finish this? Autumn. Autumn. I don't like the tone of your voice right now. Okay. Um, I feel like I'm feeling attacked. I'm feeling a lit. Thank you for the corgi, Deanna. Um, yeah. Yeah. I didn't finish the sauna. But like I said, I didn't really have time. You know, so well, what are you gonna do? But I will very soon. Listen, I was busy. I was busy coming into woohoo money gun. Wait, can I say that word? Thank you so much. um, go get your notes done. I wish it was a notes gun. Then you could just bust them all out. Um, no, I will get it done. But I was seriously like I saw you on live. I just came in. I wasn't expecting to like to see so many trolls. But why is it that like every time I get on, like it's Troll City in your live? You know, English call money notes. What? What the heck? Deanna, go do your notes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Whoa. You guys. You guys. Right? I don't think I've ever received a whale before. Well, maybe I have, but if I have, it's been a long time. Thank you so much. Um, I'll feel better about receiving that gift after your notes are done and I know that you still have a job. No, 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 no. You don't need to fill up my gallery. I don't do it for that stuff. You know it. I appreciate it, of course, but you don't. Oh my goodness. You guys need to follow her because, like, I owe her now. She is really nice. Deanna really is nice. No, um, we've like been in each other's lives a few times and stuff, and I think yeah, she's the one that got me to play the guitar and sing. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But yeah, no, she really is cool. What I don't know what face that is. I sing. I can use my voice to make words, but yeah, not really. Um, you like how it looks on me? I mean, I can make it look regular all the time. You know, I just you know. But yeah. Um, but yeah. So I appreciate you, Deanna. Thank you so much. Um, you're like making me all like shaky. Actually, maybe it's the coffee. I need cat ears too. Um, I don't have any cat ears, so I'll go pick some up, and then I can be DJing all the time. But yeah, she was the one that so I challenged her to sing on her live, and then I told her that if she did, I would sing on my live. And then I left, and then she sang, and then came into my live and told me that she sang, and now it was my turn. And I wasn't expecting it, so then I said, "All right, give me a day, and I'll play the guitar and sing." And so then I did that, and yeah, um, and if if you're a sub or I follow you back, you can look on my profile and see a clip of it. But again, playing the guitar physically hurts me now because of the sensory sensitivity. And so it's very disorienting. And then that also disorients my voice. Lots of excuses, but kind of real ones. But I call them more reasons. So yeah, check it out. But just don't judge me. But yeah, so. Oof. All right. That was crazy. Well, I'm just joking. I know you guys would not like. Nobody has said anything. There's been comments on it and stuff. Nobody has said anything negative. I'm just like, um, part of me is insecure because I know that I'm struggling with not only the playing the guitar part of playing guitar, but also like singing, holding the note, that kind of stuff, being able to reach certain notes. There's like a lot of like just like sort of disorientation when it comes to that stuff. And so I did it like knowing full and well that I would do it from my standards terribly, you know. Yeah, my arm did just crack. Um, so yeah, it is frustrating, but you know, um, it is, and the thing is, it's kind of a bummer because like I really do love playing the guitar, and played it for I played it since I was 12, and um, you know, I hitting burnout and having that sensory sensitivity that I internalized, you know, when I was probably around 7, like it revealed to me that like normally when I would play the guitar, I would just like tense up my back, and that would be where I would take the stress. But now I can't do that, and so my body shakes, which makes it hard to play. He dances too, popping and locking. Hey, how's it going, Desiree? How are you? Um, but yeah. Mental health hugs. Appreciate it. You got coffee, Joso? I got coffee too. You know, just getting adding a little bit more sugar to it. Oh, it's not showing up. Hold on a second. I gotta do something real fast. Uno momento. All right, we're clicking back over here. Come on, there you go. All right. Somebody do water to test it out. Exclamation point water, like a mod. You're so much better now. Great. I'm happy to hear that. There we go. It's working. Because it's supposed to say when any of the mods come on live, it's supposed to pop up in that box. But now water's going to pop like 3-4 times. It queues up. So, you haven't drink. Oh, I'm doing good on the coffee. And so the joins and all that stuff, you'll see it queue up. It just, now you got to wait like 30-45 seconds. Ah, sorry, I froze there for a second, but I'm back. I don't know why I did. Probably my internet. But yeah. Why is this not dismissing? Is it just because it was done so many times? Why do you feel sad today? I'm not picking my nose. I'm itching, by the way. The side of my nose. Just letting you know. Autumn, yeah. Well, not too many people know my last name. But yeah. But I'm sure you can kind of like see what I'm talking about though now, right? But that was more of like a sarcastic like kind of comment that I was making to somebody, mainly just to kind of like point out like what we were experiencing there. Those of you guys who don't follow Autumn, follow Autumn. Look at that, look at that. See, the things are showing up. So they're queued up, but it would only be from when I did the change. So if you are a mod and you want to show up there, just leave and come back. Or don't leave, because who would want to leave? But for those of you who don't follow Autumn, follow Autumn. She goes live like, you know, a few hours before I do. You know, and so go in their lives and do me a favor when she gets trolls. You know, don't let the trolls hurt her. Even though I'm sure she could take care of herself. I'm just saying. I don't want people coming after Autumn, and I need a little bit of an army there, you know, to make sure that, you know, she gets a whole lot of trolls. Like there's at least 4 or 5 at a time in her room. So yeah. But I'm going to pin Autumn. Like I said, follow her. Join the lives. And then you can join my live after her live's over. But yeah, so much fun. So much fun. And she's great with the trolls, you know? You just attract the trolls. Well, I mean, I attract the trolls too, but I mean, that's kind of like part of the reason, you know. I'm doing a little bit of, you know, but they come in, and then yeah, that's that. The whole panel. Yep. It's interesting. It's interesting. Plus, all the people asking the question. Your picture is the famous troll under the bridge in Washington. Gotta look at see what picture that is. I gotta look really close. I can't. I'll have to look at it later. Computer doesn't let me do stuff. But yeah. Seriously though, like and the thing is like they're ruthless with you, Autumn. Like with me, like you know, they'll say some stuff, right? You know, but usually it's like sarcastic stuff. With you, they just go like point blank, you know. It's It's kind of bad, you know? Sweet mother of brown beans. I I wonder if no, I don't think I went in a bridge is when I went in Seattle. It's cool that it's under a bridge though, you know. Poster ideas to decorate your walls with. I would say famous 90s boy bands. And then like if you want, like, you know, pick out some like totally ridiculous like um heartthrob like Jonathan Taylor Thomas, right? Put that up there. You know. Yes, yes, New Kids on the Block, TLC, all the things, okay? Like yes, yes, Backstreet Boys, In Sync, you know. Isn't that the guy who played uh Mr. Fantastic in the old Fantastic Four movies? Or am I just thinking of somebody completely different? Um, well, if they share the lives, yeah, that's definitely going to do it. Yeah, you know, Joe, so I think that that really is it. You know, because the thing is like what I've noticed as far as how the trolls come in, they come in directly less about like sort of the mental health stuff and more just kind of like attacking more culturally, to be honest, which is just odd, you know? Well, not odd when I kind of look at the profiles and I see who they are. It's just kind of weird that they all make their way there. That's the guy? I didn't know that. I didn't know that Mr. Fantastic, uh, you know, but yeah, you know what? Maybe, uh, so he was a heartthrob? That's awesome. Maybe, you know, I like him a little more now. I mean, the movies weren't good, but he was Mr. Fantastic. So straight to the hate. Yeah, it's just so odd. And so like the thing is like so when I go in Autumn's lives, like I actually really feel kind of bad because like I'm different than I am here. Like here I have a thick skin. I can take it and stuff. But when I see people being rude to Autumn, it's like nah, that social justice thing kicks in and I'm like, sorry, I'm going to be um the anti-hero right now and just tear everyone apart, you know? Um, heartthrob of bisexual awakening. Hey, you know what? You know what? Whatever you need. Yeah, and those people are adults. It's ridiculous. But see, the thing is like it at the same time, like so I get really more annoyed at the lack of empathy, you know? And so when I see that happen, it's I just um like somebody said, how many sicknesses do you have to Autumn? And I just said, how many sicknesses do you have? You know, like just being ridiculous with a lot of this stuff. But then there's people who are just like straight up vile. And then everybody was asking about, you know, the guy who passed yesterday. And I was just copying and pasting the same thing over and over, you know, because it's like that was a question that like everybody was asking Autumn was like, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? Like they were waiting for an answer that they could fight back on, you know? Yeah. It's yeah. But there were a lot of people who came in with 0 followers and trolling, and I just like to troll back with that. Like, you know, nobody would miss it if you deleted your account, you know, stuff like that. Um, you know, or hopefully you get a follow someday so that somebody can pay attention to what you're saying. You know? And it's like I get to like this certain point because it's like after a while they just get so like vile, and it's like you kind of troll back the trolls, you know, because it's like. And then there was that one guy. Okay, there was that one guy who I kept muting for just a minute, and he kept getting mad that I was muting him, and I would just LOL and then mute him again. And it's like, dude, you're being like so vile, and like I just liked muting him. It was just like boop, LOL, you know, and then just like all right, you know, and I don't know. I'm a terrible mod, Autumn. I'm so sorry that I'm so like kind and professional on this live, and then I go over there and it's like um maladaptive city, you know? Um yeah, Dalmatians and World of Gorillas. Well, hey, if you love it and that's the vibe you're going for, that's great. I may have to start using one of my alternate accounts. So you might want to add one of my other ones, maybe not other one that you know of, the not Tim one, because I may have to start dissociating myself from my other accounts if I'm going to be, you know, participating in that stuff. Because the thing is, I know that I am doing a service to the world, you know, and yeah, and so it would be a shame for me to not do that, to not kind of expose these people's ridiculousness, you know. So, you know, that's why I need to use a different account. um, yeah. Dalmatians are from your country. Wow, that's really cool. I like Dalmatians. Um, they do say the most random stuff, like that's supposed to happen. Yeah, but here's the thing: I can out random stuff say them things. Just pretend that what I said just mattered or meant something or made sense. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry, a little bit uh, sleepy. Um, yeah, but like that's the thing is like that's kind of like the trolls thing. And then there was the one guy who trolled, but he like mistyped because I think he said like "Are you gay?" or something like that, but he misspelt gay, and then he corrected it afterwards. And I'm like, come on, dude, do better. Trolling's an art. You can't have typos, you know. Babbling with babies instead of adults. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a martyr. How so? Because I am not unalived. In fact, I'm living more now than I ever have. So, I don't know. Martyr would be if I was still suffering with all this and didn't do anything about it and then just decided to give up. Um, but then again, people have a skewed view on what a martyr is these days. So, I don't know. Who knows? You only talk about having these things instead of moving forward. No, Rachel, you have no idea. That's all I talk about is moving forward with this. Did you see the little second to the last line there? Like, come on, you think that's there for just to pretend that it hasn't changed my life for the better or what? Like, I don't know. Ask me a question. Ask me what something's like and what I've done. Oh, donut holes, honey bay. Catch bait? No, no, no. Ask me. Ask me about one of them, and I will tell you. I know we like summoned them, but here's the thing: like, if Rachel really wants to know, like, I'll answer, and then she can be smarter about it and understand a firsthand experience on not only how you discover and how you manage to somehow hide this from yourself, but also how you manage to pick yourself up and move forward and better yourself because of the knowledge of having all this stuff. You know, I think some people would accept defeat in this and probably would seem like martyrs. That's not how I did it. I decided to forgive myself for all the things that I thought were me and were my problems and was my failure and my stupidity that ended up not being that. It ended up being these struggles that I had no idea were there. And so I ended up giving myself grace and, you know, forgiving myself for all that bad talk and started working towards getting these things taken care of now that I finally had labels for this stuff, you know? So, yeah. But she's probably gone because once you start talking real, people, you know, move on. Hey, did my intake. I had my first ever unmasking ever. I think I was so exhausted after. Great. Congratulations on finally being able to live a little bit more authentically. And I hope that it gets easier for you and that you're able to um, gain a better sense of self and be able to move forward and continue being your authentic self to everyone. That's really my desire for anyone that deals with this stuff, is just healing and knowledge and being the best version of yourself with the knowledge that you have. Not martyring yourself, you know. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to go in a few minutes because I gotta get ready for things for the day. Yeah. Make that suffering worse. Oh wait. I don't understand. Society is, when they say someone is suffering, people want to make that suffering worse. Well, see, here's the thing. Here's the conundrum. It's society telling you. Well, I'll speak as a guy. It's society telling me, shove these emotions down, right? Don't deal with it, or shut up about it. Don't talk about it. And so what that essentially does when you're shoving down mental health is you're putting yourself into a prison where you can't get this resolved. You have no support. You're just battling it in your head because society tells you not to talk about it. But worse, you follow that advice. And so what I am even showing is that by opening up, you can gather a community of people who will willingly, be there for you because they also know what it's like. They know how it is to be alone and isolated and don't want to be that way, want to be able to talk openly about this stuff. And so, like, it's a constant battle of being told, don't talk about this, shove it down, put it away. And then, then bad things happen in the world and we say, why did this happen? Can't need coffee. Have a day that brings you joy. I will, Desiree. I promise. We are the outcast army. That's right. And we will soldier on. Let me see Newcastle. Oh man, how are you? Overall, like, I know the other stuff, Moronio, that you've been dealing with, but overall, that other stuff aside and everything, how are you dealing with the move? Let's see. Da, 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 da. Again, I'm gonna have to leave in just a couple minutes. Oh, so I figured out the Discord thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create. I already have like the website and stuff, kind of like, so I already had like a domain. I already have like web servers and all that stuff. So it's gonna be very easy for me to just tell people like a .com to go to join the Discord. And so I'm just figuring out some certain configurations with my local web host server that I have, because it's going to be very lightweight, and so I can run it locally. Once I do that, it'll be easy to get people into the Discord. For those of you who sent those usernames, sorry, yesterday was very, very difficult. I still have them all, and I will get to them, as I get to them. But definitely, I'll be able to do it like when I'm on my phone and all that stuff. So I'm gonna gather like a list of them first, and then put them into my notes, and then just start working through them. So, like I said, if you see an invite from Commander Keen, that's me. You want to see my arm tattoos? Yeah, sure. I will give a tour of my tattoos as I say my goodbyes, because I do need to shower and get ready for all the fun things that are basically therapy. All right. How am I going to do this? Let's see. All right. So, I have, it's basically like a, so you know the religious aspect that's there, you know, with Golgotha and the three crosses, you know, and then there's a like an island scene there, with a peacock, you know, a sunset over the ocean, and then there's these angels, you know, that are breaking through, you know, the sky and everything, with some really cool like shading. I'm really happy with how that came out, and then outer space. You got some planets, you got, you know, all kinds of stuff, and then you know what's supposed to represent, you know, heaven as well. So this tattoo been, I really like, I took my time with it, about 15 years from when I first started thinking about it to when I actually started tattooing and or getting it tattooed on me. It was done by the I was showing this earlier actually. So the guy who does the artwork for some of my, well, this is my favorite band. Okay, Shai Halud. It's a hardcore band. They do like positive hardcore, so like positive messages, all that stuff. So this is my favorite band, and this album artwork is done by the guy who tattooed my arm. And so that style though is not his normal style. This is his normal style. Okay, and so this is also done by him. But one of the things that I love about it is when you look at the rocks that are here, like these little like fragments of rocks, it's the same ones that I have right here, like down right here. And so it's really cool to kind of like have a lot of that same kind of like reference that I see in these albums, you know, on my arm from the guy who did them. He happens to live in the same area I do, and he happens to tattoo like 3 minutes from where I live. And so it was very much a really cool coincidence that worked out in my favor, because now I have a tattoo that not only is meaningful to me, but it also references that band, tattooed by the guy who does the album artwork for that band, my favorite band. And so it like there's so many layers to just how awesome I feel about my tattoo, because it's has so much deeper meaning for me. You know, and so it's awesome. I love it. My family will not accept me when I come out, and I feel like I am right in between traumas. I can't live in the present. I don't know why I'm trauma dumping though. You are welcome to always be here and trauma dump whatever you want. Like, I have a Discord as well, link in profile. Doesn't work for a lot of people, but it should be working. So even though it doesn't work, it should work. So it may work. But in the next couple days, go to timadhd.com and you'll be able to get to the Discord through there and all that stuff. But that'll be like in a few days. But trauma dumping always allowed. We go through stuff, you know, as humans, regardless if you're neurodivergent or not, or suffer, deal with any of these things. Like, we're all humans and we experience trauma, you know, and sometimes trauma can be very, 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 very impactful, you know. I mean, it's always impactful, but sometimes the way that it impacts you can be very, very, very significant and confusing, you know. So yeah, you know, my past is already not mine, and I can't have the present because I keep thinking about what will happen. You know, I hear you there. My past was not mine. I long for different parents too. But I get to be a different parent to my kids. And so that's kind of my saving grace, is that despite the crap that I went through, it stops with me. It stops on me, and my kids don't have to deal with it. But that doesn't make the pain of my childhood any easier. Um, I have CPTSD from physical abuse from my parents from ages 3 to 8 ish, and it was done for religious reasons, for discipline reasons, for a 3-year-old who wasn't paying attention. A 3-year-old. And being undiagnosed ADHD, that would happen a lot, thousands of times over the years, of receiving a traumatic experience, which basically resulted in me having a very easily triggered amygdala, which means I get scared very easily. It resulted in me growing up in chaos, my baseline being chaos. So if things aren't chaotic, I don't feel like things are normal. And not like I crave chaos, it's just things feel off, you know? Um, you know, it's, don't discount the things that you're going through and like that they're not like super impactful for you. Recognize that things are tough and that you didn't deserve this stuff and it shouldn't define you. For me, I'm taking back the power of what it took from me, you know? Yeah. And we could grieve on it. And the thing is like for me, like I grieved what I already knew decades ago. And so I kind of understood the physical part. The things I didn't understand that I learned over the last year was why it was CPTSD, how it included dissociative disorder, basically me numbing my emotions and my physical pain receptors so that I could not feel the pain nor the emotional turmoil that I was going through. I discovered that I would black out during these things, um, because often they told me they wouldn't stop until I stopped crying, which would be very difficult when they're inflicting pain on you. So then learning to keep your emotions in, learning to respond to pain with silence. So a lot of messed up stuff, but I can't change any of that. What I can change is how that affected my behaviors, how that affected my upbringing, and going back and reparenting myself in a calmer light, in with a lot more compassion. And it sucks that you have to kind of take it upon yourself to just be like, you guys did not do a good job, I'm gonna do it myself. It sucks, but you can't change it now. The only thing that you can do is move forward. Iron World, thank you so much for the heart me. And my biggest fear is what if I achieve my dreams and they will not be enough to fill this void in me? That's the thing, is that it may not. And that's why it's important to like make sure that you are going to therapy for this stuff. If I did not go to therapy 3 days after I discovered that my CPTSD actually existed, I would not have been able to get the understanding that I have and get to a point to where I get it. I'm not bummed out about it anymore. I'm choosing how I'm going to take this information moving forward, and I'm approaching it with giving myself grace, being more mindful of how I am with my children, and more intentional with what happens with my kids. And like sometimes there's only a limited amount of things that we can do, but those are some really good things to like do. I need to move on, go take a shower and do my thing. I know, but here's the thing: when people come in and they're hurting, like I'll stall so that I can help. Don't be a stranger, okay? Come back into the live. Like I said, we have a Discord. If you can't get to it through the profile, just go to timadhd.com in like a few days. Once I get my configurations all figured out, join the Discord, because that's what it's there for, and I just requested to follow you, so hopefully we can stay connected. I think I'm accidentally proving myself to fall asleep to your lives. Wait, Pavlovian? Sorry, I'm severely undereducated. It's actually true, and I laugh, but you guys all get it, because we laugh at our trauma. P-A-V-L-O-V. Classical conditioning. Okay, yeah, natural stillness with an unconditioned. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm happy that it's a positive thing. But yeah, y'all don't be a stranger, okay? I mean it. All right, everyone, I do gotta go. It's time to shower. It's time to start my day again. And we can do so much more. Hello, we really can. There's so much more that can help out. Again, a big part of it is going to be seeking therapy, right? But that you also need community, and like I would say community is an important part, because at least community can help encourage you towards therapy, right? With therapy, they're going to tell you find community, find people, do all that stuff. You've already found some people, okay? And we resonate, we understand. You're not talking to people who just don't get it. Hey Kim, how's it going? I tried to like get on your live while I was on my live, because I went from Autumn's live where I was troll hunting. Then, and you know what? The trolling was, what did I say? I don't know. We were eating good. But yeah, so got very, very carried away in that. You know how I get. But yeah. I do have to go. Because I got therapy, I got all kinds of stuff. Troll was popping, yeah. I like the way that you said it better, Autumn. Everybody follow Kim too. Okay, so the Neuro Circus, who I'm going to pin right now, and you don't need to do any of that stuff, because I'm gonna promote you anyway. She goes live every day. 8 a.m. Eastern time. And also somebody that you should connect with if you want to help support other neurodivergent people's lives. Give her a follow. She was doing a lot of live streaming earlier and just started getting back into it again. And she's a great live host and creator and all that stuff, so you do yourself a favor to follow her, as well as just a couple other people that I mentioned earlier. But you're talking about the dream team here. But anyways, I do got to go. I'm here to support spouses navigating this from the outside looking in. Appreciate that. As somebody who's going through a divorce, I genuinely do appreciate that, because yeah, I don't think I need to explain why. But I really, really do appreciate that. It's really hard to navigate when people just can't understand each other. So anyway, thank you so much everyone for joining the live. Sorry to end on such a depressing note. My life is actually going pretty good. And honestly, things have gotten significantly better since my realization of everything. So do not think it's doom and gloom. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have bad days or bad things aren't going to happen, but things are good. I appreciate all of you coming in, joining, and I appreciate all the gifts and everything. Deanna just went off the rails, so I'm gonna have to get her back on her live. But yeah, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. For those of you who don't know, I go live at 6 a.m. Pacific time most days. Most of those days, actually all the days so far except for today, have been met with some, at least some sleep before it. So I may not be as sassy regularly. I'm actually a little bit more grounded probably and stuff, but still kind of sarcastic. So you can still expect the sarcasm. Thank you for the "You're Awesome," and Kim, thank you for the Go Populars, and I think I already said that. And CTG, thank you for the live. I think I missed all those, and so I'm so sorry. But yeah, I do gotta go. Appreciate all of you allowing this to be a safe space and allowing, even when we're going off on something weird, when somebody comes in and we know they need help, we turn off the silliness and you know, we help that person, and it's a very beautiful thing. So thank you for facilitating. I can go live, but you guys are the ones that make chat the way that it is. And so thank you guys for making chat the way that it is. I passed the 2-hour mark, did I? I don't even know. I don't pay attention anymore. 2 hours 7 minutes. I gotta go. I appreciate all of you. GTG, LOL, BRB, AFK. All right. Mwah. Take care. I will see you all soon. Join my Discord, link in profile. And it'll be on timadhd.com like in a few days. Don't go there now, it won't work. All right. Bye. And then I stop YouTube. Like anyone's there.